Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is investment. We don't generally think about it, but the way we put, wherever we put our attention is where we put our energy. And it is by directing our attention that we are investing in our lives, in our present, in our future. And so today we're going to look at making a good and conscious investment. But before we get started on this Friday morning, let's take a minute to get present. So let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells, all your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your cells, all your molecules, your electrons, creating a brilliant beam of light and energy from your heart out into the world. And as you exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's press our palms together and vigorously rub your hands together to feel the friction and the temperature and the pressure. And when you stop rubbing them together, all that tickling and tingling, all those sensations, and allow those sensations to bring you present right here, right now, into this remarkable physical form that enables you to experience life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Robin. Good morning, Rosalind. So wonderful to start the day with you and with everybody else who's joining us. Welcome. And today we're going to talk about investment. And we're going to use some models around economy, right? Good morning, Kimberly. Welcome. Great to have you here with us this morning. So we're talking about investment, and I don't think we often think about the way that we invest our energy into things in life as an investment. But we often say, well, I'm really invested in that idea. But I think it's interesting to consider, to think about that the fact that the way that we invest. Good morning, Bernadette. Welcome, welcome. Great to have you here. Happy Friday, everyone. With the way that we direct our attention is an investment of our time and our energy, our life force. And if we're spending time and energy on things that deplete us, then what are we doing? You know, how is that serving us? How is that forwarding us? How is that enhancing our lives? In other words, how is it paying us back, that investment? You know, like, what is it? Is that investment a loss, or is that investment something that serves to improve our well-being? You know, is it a worthwhile investment of our life force? So Rosalind says, I'm accepting what is actually in front of me instead of forcing it into something else, but it can sound like giving up or lazy, no action. So this is such a good thing that you brought up, Rosalind, because we tend to be human doings rather than human beings, and we tend to measure our value based on what we produce or what we do, what we accomplish. And the fact is that we truly, although it's not something that we culturally recognize, we're worthy just by virtue of being. And we don't have to prove anything to anyone, truly, even though there's social and cultural pressure to do. But when we allow ourselves to be, ultimately, it's not that we won't do, it's that the doing that we do will come from a place of alignment and inspiration ultimately. So if you're not doing anything because you're not truly moved to do it, is it laziness, or is it allowing yourself to come into alignment and be a pure expression of your essential self? So I'm sure Bernadette says, I have a commitment to the 11th day of the 11th hour. So thank you for bringing that up, Bernadette. It's 11:11 today. So at 11:11, Bernadette meant the 11 month, but at 11:11 today and tonight, we can celebrate today, 11:11, and it's still 2022. So super, super powerful numbers, right? Love it. Thank you for bringing that up, Bernadette. So looking at investing our time, a lot of us invest our energy and our time in worry and anger and sadness and resentment and all kinds of emotions, and often all kinds of activities that are depleting and debilitating. And what if we looked at our time? What if we recognize that this is our time and energy is an investment in our own lives? It's an investment in ourselves, and in the best way, or can be in the best way, where we are taking action in this moment to enrich ourselves rather than deplete ourselves. And while it may be true that unlimited energy is available to us, I don't know that many of us experience that profoundly unlimited state of being. And so we can be looking at how we are investing our attention and our energy. I think it's different to think about how we are expending it, in other words, spending it, than to think about how we are investing it. I guess when we think about investing, it does imply future, right? It does imply a return in our standard model of economy and money. And Bernadette says, in remembrance. I'm wondering who you're remembering, Bernadette, on this 11th day of the 11th month. I actually have a couple friends whose birthdays are today, so I'm looking forward to wishing them happy birthday. So how do you invest your time? How do you invest your heart? How do you invest your mind? What are the things that you put your energy into? And what are the returns on that investment? if you do something creative, what kind of return is that versus if you spend time being angry or sad? Maybe sometimes spending time watching TV can be an opportunity. I know for me, it's been an opportunity to just unplug, to watch movies or entertainment kind of things. Other times it can be just an avoidance. So how are we investing our time? Rosalind says, so if allowing is the key, aligning will drive the intellect to discern what to give your energy to. Well, I don't know if it's so much about the intellect as it is about the heart and soul, because sometimes the things that we're drawn to give our attention to and our energy to, sometimes our logic wants to say, or our intellect wants to say, oh no, you can't do that, or that's ridiculous, even though your heart is calling out to follow a certain path. So, things don't have to make sense to be in alignment necessarily. In fact, I remember in college, I was in art school and I had a dream, literally a dream. And in the dream, I was working in bronze and it didn't make sense. But I went and I made arrangements to take a bronze casting course, even though it didn't make sense given my circumstances. And it opened up all kinds of opportunity for me. So that was being in alignment. I was graced in that moment to be in alignment enough to hear that call and then to heed it. So Rubin says, if it's depleting your energy, a choice or decision maybe needs to be considered if this situation is for your highest good. Yes, exactly. So we often do things that are depleting us, and we justify those things because maybe it looks good on paper. So for instance, I had a conversation with a friend who is doing some work that is really creating a whole new financial horizon and experience for them, is providing revenue for them and also a new perspective in so many ways. And yet it's profoundly draining. And so I was talking to this person and they were so drained, and we were talking about this other opportunity that, to be something to look forward to, and their whole energy shifted and they became enlivened and vital and energized. And it was so obvious, why is it that we don't choose life, that we don't choose to invest ourselves? And Robin says, Veterans Day for remembrance. Oh my gosh. In response to Bernadette, thank you for that. I wasn't even aware that it was Veterans Day. So my apologies, and my invitation that we invest some time in this couple moments that we have together to honor the people who have served our countries, served served the collective, who have given of their hearts and bodies and spirits, and often of their lives in service to the rest of us. And deep gratitude. And that said, my hopes and prayers that we find a way to evolve beyond the need for war, or the concept even of war. It's such an archaic notion. right? I mean, that we go to battle, that we kill each other over resources or beliefs, that there's something much more evolved available to us that we get to discover. And may we bring that forth in the world. So Bernadette says it's a Remembrance Day, I think, and participate in the past, present, and futures of those who fight for our country. And so with deep appreciation, I recognize that is how we have lived historically as human beings on this planet, fighting for our country, fighting other countries. And I believe that we have the potential to evolve beyond that whole concept of conflict in that way. That we can, I pray that we can learn new ways of being, such that we can learn to communicate, that we can learn to work in alignment with one another toward a higher collective end. So, so Rosalind, back to alignment. Rosalind says, okay, rather than the mind, intellect, operate from the heart and soul path. Exactly. And I will assert that, at least in my hypothesis, I will assert that that's what we're here to do. That we're here to be as clear a vessel as possible for our unique expression of life expressing itself. And that is the heart and soul path. That's the essential driver within each of us that gets layered over and covered over by our cultural and social mores and our experience and trauma, and we get to unlearn so much of that. So Jenny says, I have nothing to look forward to. I haven't in 2 years. So Jenny, and this is important for everyone, we get to create things to look forward to. We get to make choices about something to look forward to. And it could be something as simple as, I look forward to the song of a bird. I look forward to the beauty of a flower. And I know that could sound trite, but it's so true. I look forward to, there are very many simple things we can look forward to and feel gratitude for. So I just suggest that finding ourselves in a place of appreciation is a really important thing. And we can create constructs that enable us to have something to look forward to. And we can even be engaged in looking for things to look forward to. And all that said, we also want to be present. And so the benefit of something to look forward to is that we give ourselves to permission to shift our experience of the present as we look forward to something, right? So I'm taking a course in January to learn how to build an aircrete dome. I'm going to go to, I have the month off of January from my my work, because my coaching practice, I do 3 months on, 1 month off. So January, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico and I'm going to learn how to build an aircrete dome so that I can build my house. And I have been wanting to do this for 5 years. I am so excited. So it's something that I'm looking forward to. And And it's shaping my present also, because it's allowing me to really bring this vision that I have into reality. So, but it's a construct. And this whole idea of looking forward is a construct. So Bernadette says, oh wait, let's just back up here. So Bernadette says, energy worthy of the knowledge, what's been sacrificed, oil and money. I think you were talking about the sacrifices and the things that we fight over, right? That we fight other people for, that we die for, that we kill for, that we sacrifice our innocence to, oil, money, all kinds of other material things. It's just crazy. Power, domination, control. It's part of an old paradigm that hopefully we are seeing being etched away and dismantled, because we need to find new ways of being than war. Bernadette says you need all parties involved to be of the same mindset. In terms of solution, well, I think you need all parties involved to have a commitment to life and a willingness to recognize that we're all one. We are all one. And yeah, and stuff isn't what it's all about. That if we got together and figured it out, it's not about power and domination and control. So Kimberly says, I'm very thankful for life. And I know there's light at the end of the tunnel of grief and healing. That's such an important thing to know, Kimberly, because when we're in the midst of it, when we're in the midst of our deep darkness, it's nearly impossible to recognize that it's not forever. And so Kimberly goes on to say, I'm so thankful for this group, Mira, always helpful and healing. Thank you, Kimberly. That's a lovely thing to hear. I so appreciate that. And thank you. Thank you. Bernadette says, I look forward to the sounds of nature as I drink my morning coffee. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that, Bernadette. Exactly. Breathe in the air of the season and watch creatures of full living without expectations. Exactly. So Jenny, like that, it can be that simple. Thank you so much for that, Bernadette. Beautiful. So Kimberly says, I was wondering about your adventure. Congratulations. Excited for you. Yeah. When I come back in February, you guys are going to be like, I'm going to be so annoying because I'm going to be so over the moon excited about what I learned. I don't know if I'll be able to stop talking about it. Anyway, Jenny says, this weekend, I look forward to buying a car before the interest rates take another hike. Well, congratulations, Jenny, to be getting that car, and allow that car to be stepping into a new sense of self too, a new phase. So Jenny says it's about live family and friends. Well, it's all about how we contextualize all of that. And Bernadette says, exciting, Jenny, for you buying that car. So may it serve you well. May it be the beginning of new journeys for you, Jenny, and new paths opening up into joy and fulfillment. Lisa, good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. It's great to have you with us. Rosalind is replying to Jenny, pondering this, maybe there are glimpses of things you do look forward to. Thank you for being here with us. It's a choice. So even the littlest things to look forward to. I mean, buying a car, that's a big thing. That's pretty exciting. That's a big thing to look forward to. Jenny says, building a house out of what? So I'm taking this course on learning how to build a dome home with something called aircrete. And aircrete is a mixture of foamed up dishwashing liquid. So foamed up like shaving cream mixed into concrete or cement rather. And like you would mix egg whites into a batter, and then you pour bricks with this aircrete, and then you use those bricks to build. And the bricks are light, so like I'll be able to lift them. And a dome is a building that you can build that doesn't need any framing. It's really, really stable. It's weatherproof, and it isn't susceptible to hurricanes and tornadoes and all those kinds of weather events that are so crazy and destructive because of the dome shape, the aerodynamics around it. So, and this aircrete is insulating, and it doesn't burn, and it is not susceptible to insects. And so I'm just excited over the moon about it. So you're going to be learning a lot about aircrete and aircrete domes, as far as I can tell, as long as I get to go in January. It'll be from the 19th of January to the coming back on the 30th. So, so Jenny, if you folks want to check out what I'm talking about, the course I'm going to is through an organization called Dome Gaia, DOMEGAIA. Go to domegaia.com. It's called Aircrete, AIRCRETE, Aircrete. And yeah, check it out. It is just the coolest thing ever. And I am so excited. I've been, like I said, wanting to learn about this for 5 years. So it's kind of beginning to make my dream real of being part of this net positive village that is going to be, hopefully is going to be in Pátzcuaro, Mexico. So I went to Pátzcuaro in September, if you'll recall, and I went there with the intention to see if it was a place that I wanted to live, and things are moving forward little by little. So something to look forward to, right? And it's something that I'm creating from the future into the present. So I'm utilizing that future vision to direct what I'm up to in the moment. So Kimberly says, when you move, which is not imminent, by the way, will you still be able to connect with us? Yes, they have really good internet there. So absolutely, I live online, so not to worry about that. Thank you. Jenny says, what a great adventure. What was the movie last night? So I have to run, but last night it was the Mycology of Consciousness. It was a talk by Paul Stamets from 2017, and you can find it on YouTube, and I really invite you to check it out. It's super nerdy, but really amazing about mushrooms and their healing properties and all kinds of other stuff. So anyway, I have to run. So lots and lots and lots of love to you. I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection. I go live here each weekday morning on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page and YouTube channel. And I invite you to check out the other awesome programming on Enlightened World Network, EWN One with the Earth, Enlightened World Living. Jenny said, say it again, please. It's Dome, DOME, Gaia.com, GAIA, and the movie was The Mycology of Consciousness. It was a 2017 talk by Paul Stamets, and you can find it on YouTube. And thank you so much for asking. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. So much love to you.